No one expected the segment to spiral like this. Viewers tuned in for what seemed like a typical news commentary, but what followed was a scathing, relentless takedown of Meghan Markle, delivered by none other than Piers Morgan. He didn't hold back, and what he revealed left audiences stunned, divided, and buzzing. This wasn't a scripted interview or a calculated article. This was a live television moment where truth, opinion, and emotion collided on screen. Was it journalistic boldness or personal vendetta? Let's break down what happened, why it matters, and what it means for Meghan's ever-complicated public image. Piers didn't just critique, he erupted. And in the world of live television, nothing hits harder than unfiltered outrage. The segment quickly turned from opinion to national controversy. The comment that reignited the fire. One quote and the internet exploded. It all started during a roundtable discussion about celebrity influence and media responsibility. Piers, never one to shy away from controversy, took a sharp left turn and called Meghan Markle a professional victim with a platinum spoon. He added that her attempts to speak her truth had damaged more lives than healed them. The panel froze. The camera panned quickly to his co-hosts, some nodding, others visibly tense. What began as commentary felt like a declaration of war on Meghan's reputation. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't sugar-coated. It was pure, unfiltered television fury. Within hours, the segment was clipped, captioned, and trending globally. Piers's words sparked both outrage and praise, just as he likely intended. A history of tension. Piers versus Meghan. This isn't their first public clash. It's a continuation. The bad blood between Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle dates back nearly a decade. He claims they were once acquaintances, even sharing a drink before Meghan allegedly ghosted him after meeting Prince Harry. Since then, Piers has become a relentless critic of Meghan's public persona. His coverage intensified after the Oprah Winfrey interview, which he labeled a disgrace to journalism and truth. Piers even lost his job on Good Morning Britain after refusing to apologize for doubting Meghan's mental health claims. To some, it's personal. To others, it's patriotism. But no matter how you slice it, this feud has become one of the most visible media rivalries in modern culture, and it only seems to escalate with each new development. Meghan's image under fire again. Why does Meghan continue to attract so much criticism? To some, she's a woman fighting back against a rigid, outdated institution. To others, she's manipulating the media to craft a self-serving narrative. Piers tapped into the latter view, accusing her of weaponizing emotion for profit. He argued that her selective disclosures were intended to control public sympathy while distancing herself from royal accountability. Whether it's her Spotify podcast or Netflix docuseries, Meghan has maintained tight narrative control. Piers claims that control comes at the expense of truth. He painted her as a master of public perception, carefully dodging criticism while playing victim. And for a public figure, that kind of accusation hits hard. It calls into question not just her actions, but her entire public identity. In a world where image is everything, Piers's words aim to dismantle her carefully built persona. Whether that effort succeeds or backfires depends entirely on how the public reacts. Live TV reactions, gasps, silence, and applause. What happened in the studio shocked even seasoned anchors. As Piers let loose on Meghan, there were moments where the studio atmosphere shifted dramatically. The silence was deafening. One anchor even coughed awkwardly, trying to break the tension. Another guest began to respond, but was quickly cut off by Piers, who wasn't finished. You can't cry mental health on Monday and cash a $100 million deal on Friday, he snapped. The control room, according to reports, debated pulling the segment early, but chose to let it run. When it ended, there was a mixture of stunned silence and subtle applause from crew members. Some applauded his guts, while others feared he'd gone too far. Either way, the live TV drama had already taken on a life of its own online. Public response? Divided and loud. The internet takes sides in a new civil war. Social media erupted as clips from the broadcast went viral within minutes. Supporters of Meghan decried the segment as another example of bullying and misogyny. They questioned why a male anchor was still given airtime to attack a woman of color so viciously. On the flip side, Piers applauded his truth-telling, calling him brave for saying what everyone else is too scared to admit. News outlets picked up the story, sparking op-eds, reaction videos, and heated panel discussions. It became more than a feud. It became a full-blown media event. Even celebrities chimed in, adding fuel to an already roaring fire. It was a digital war zone, and Meghan and Piers were at the center. Did Piers cross the line? Free speech or personal obsession? Many critics argue that Piers's commentary has shifted from critique to character assassination. His repeated targeting of Meghan has raised questions about journalistic integrity. Is he holding her accountable, or is he chasing ratings through controversy? Others argue that Meghan, as a global public figure, must accept scrutiny, however harsh it may seem. But as the line between opinion and obsession blurs, viewers are forced to consider motive. Piers insists he's defending royal tradition and media honesty. But detractors say his vendetta clouds his credibility. And in journalism, credibility is everything. The royal family stays silent. But insiders say they're watching closely. True to form, Buckingham Palace issued no formal comment on the segment. But royal sources hinted that the institution wasn't exactly unhappy with Piers's remarks. One source reportedly said, "He says what they can't." Behind palace walls, Meghan's departure and media revelations have been sore points. Piers's broadcast, whether endorsed or not, echoed sentiments some insiders quietly share. Of course, no one inside the palace would ever admit that publicly, but make no mistake, the royals were watching, and perhaps silently nodding. Meghan and Harry's media empire shaken? Could this segment affect their public brand? Meghan and Harry have built a billion-dollar image rooted in storytelling, healing, and advocacy. But public perception is fragile, and high-profile takedowns like this one leave a mark. Already, some brands are reconsidering partnerships, and questions are swirling about the true impact of their message. Piers's words might not stop their rise, but they could shape the lens through which people view it. Media credibility is just as important as content, and Meghan's team knows that perception drives power. This moment might demand more than silence. What's next for Piers and for Meghan? A rematch seems inevitable. Piers isn't retreating. If anything, he's doubling down. In follow-up interviews, he teased bigger revelations and unedited truths about Meghan's media journey. Insiders suggest he's preparing a full-length special dissecting her public appearances. Meanwhile, Meghan remains silent, but her team is reportedly taking note of the coverage. A legal response isn't off the table, according to royal insiders, but Meghan has often favored strategic media silence. That silence, however, might be louder than words this time. The storm hasn't passed. It's still brewing. Final thoughts. Commentary or character assassination? When does criticism stop being fair? This isn't just a media feud, it's a cultural moment. A clash between traditional commentary and modern celebrity narrative control. Piers Morgan believes he's the voice of reason in a world gone soft. But others believe he's lost objectivity and turned Meghan into a personal crusade. At the heart of it all is a question. Are we witnessing honest journalism or targeted aggression? In an age of powerful platforms, every word counts. And this story is far from over. Thanks for watching. If this clash between Piers and Meghan shocked you, hit like and subscribe for more explosive media showdowns.